One thing we all know is that the internet loves a perfect story. Let's start from here. Three gorgeous sisters with matching hair, viral videos, brand deals, and the whole internet technically loves them. But what happens when the internet turns against you and all of a sudden your comment section becomes a courtroom? The Kalogeras sisters, Sunday, Demetra, and Eliana went from glossy vlogs to trending cancellation. But what actually happened? What did they say, and what does this whole drama teach us about how we judge creators online? In today's video, we're going to be breaking it all down, and this is what I like to call when the internet wants your downfall. With that being said, let's dive right into it. Hello everyone. Hi, my name is Kelly if you're new here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Kalogeras sisters and the drama they have somewhat found themselves in. They've been trending for the past week, and just a few days ago I discovered why exactly, and I was, let's just say, pretty shocked as to why this all went down. First off, who are the Kalogeras sisters? The Kalogeras sisters are a trio of content creators sisters who rose to fame on TikTok and YouTube for coordinated lifestyle and vlog style videos. They are known for their coily hair, matching aesthetic, and highly produced family-friendly content. They have built a big following and they've done collabs with big brands like Noise and T-Mobile.
Hey, what is your guys' Coachella scent of the day?
Unmute by Noise always.
Get ready with us for Valentine's Day with T-Mobile. We're in New York right now. The girls are getting ready in the other room, so we're gonna go get ready for a little dinner.
And I can just say this right now, I am pretty sure they're one of the fastest growing family channel in the past few years. I believe everybody can agree with me on that. Their YouTube channel has over 6 million subscribers. 6 million subscribers in a year is impressive, super impressive. Their fans are, let's just say, extremely loyal to an extent that sometimes it can be toxic. And this is not the first time that I'm mentioning or even making a video about the Caligera sisters, but because of this whole drama really intrigued me, I had to talk about it, so I'm making another video. And by the way, before we proceed, no hate to these girls, I promise. This topic was just so interesting that I had to talk about it one way or the other, and I want your intake on it at the end of this video. What do you think about this whole situation? I will always want to know. And why did I start by telling you how famous they are? It is mostly because influence isn't neutral. When people with big platforms get accused of something, the accusation spreads faster than any correction. So knowing who they are helps us judge that skill instead of just listening to the noise. Now let's move on to chapter 2, the allegations, the exact claims, and where they came from. The first accusation is that they are pro-Trump. And where did this all come from? It's because their mom followed Trump on Instagram and also liked a few pictures from his page. And almost immediately after she started getting called out on TikTok by their fans, she unfollowed Trump on Instagram and unliked the picture that she initially liked. But the damage was already done. The Caligera sisters started getting dragged left and right by their fans, saying that a Trump supporter. But one key point I have left out so far is that these people are not from the US, they're from Canada. They are Greek Canadian.
What is your ethnicity? We are Greek. 100%.
Now at this point you might be somewhat confused as to why somebody from another country is supporting a president in the US. Now this is possible. I'm not trying to say it's not entirely possible. It is very possible, but just because your mom supports Trump doesn't mean they are Trump supporters. Now one thing I see quite frequently online is people saying that a child shouldn't be punished for what their parents did, and that is why I'm confused as to why that doesn't apply to the Caligera sisters. I am just saying, why are they being punished for what their mom did? They didn't support Trump. That doesn't mean that they support him entirely. Their mom followed him and also like a picture from his page. I understand that it's probably because they are the famous ones and their mom just mostly works from behind the scene. It's not every single video that they see their mom appear, so they feel like canceling them will be the right thing. That's why this whole thing is just so confusing, and I'm gonna say it as a person that looks at it from another standpoint. Your parent does something, that doesn't mean that you are like your parent. That doesn't mean that you support what your parent does. So for this one, I just really think that the internet should just calm down, and you could just see this as one big mistake that got blown out of proportion. Another accusation is that they support Israel. It is probably because the sisters follow accounts that are known to be pro-Israel. For example, the account having an Israel flag in the bio or having highlights supporting Israel and so on and so forth. Now, the ones I have seen so far, correct me if I'm wrong please, I always like to be corrected. The ones I've seen so far are just people having the Israel flag on their bio. Maybe they are from Israel, I have no idea. And other people maybe posting highlight stories of Israel. I've not actually seen a post, and if I see the post, I'll probably put it here on the screen and correct myself. But the Kalogeras sisters following this account might not actually know that they're pro-Israel, especially when they're not checking every single highlight of this person of what they have posted in the past. They just maybe followed a fan that liked them, and this was what it resulted to. Now, I'm not defending them in any way. I am just giving out scenarios as to how this is possible. It's also possible that maybe they followed the account intentionally, even after they knew what the account was for or what they promoted. Another big thing I see people talking about is the fact that they support James Charles. Now, if you know James Charles, you know that he has been accused, and it has also been proven that he has done a lot of really strange and weird things, and it's all over the internet. There's no way you've been watching YouTube for the past, let's just say, 3 years or 5 years, and you've never ever come across an accusation against James Charles or any tea or commentary channel talking about this man. Honestly, I am still surprised that James Charles still has a career even after every single thing he has done so far. Like, I've seen influencers do like a very small thing and then boom, they are cancelled. So I'll just say I'm shocked. That doesn't mean that I want him to entirely go off the internet. No, I am just shocked as to how he still has a thriving career. Now, they've been accused of supporting James Charles because they follow him on Instagram, like some of his posts, and also use his palette in their videos. And I just have to say this right now, and I mean this in the most honest way possible. A lot of influencers have been caught supporting James Charles. Even people that already knew about the drama still do collabs with him, even knowing the kind of person he is, and they just get called out for it, but not entirely cancelled. So the fact that you want to cancel somebody over the fact that they've not even done collabs with him, they just use his product. I'll say it again, and I'll say it every single time. I just find it weird that influencers are so proud to support people that are known to do bad things on the internet or not necessarily be the best person, but once that influencer offends them, then boom, they're no longer friends with that person. They start talking bad about that person, like as if you were not just all bested with this influencer. My point is, a lot of people have supported James Charles. Even people that talk bad about him still actively promote his product by using it in their videos. Now, I am not trying to say that this girl should be exempt from being called out. I'm just trying to say you should keep the same energy from every single person that uses James Charles palette in their videos. A few weeks ago, the Caligera sisters went to Lollapalooza, and according to a lot of people, they said there were Palestine protests going on while the sisters were there, and they didn't say anything about Palestine, supporting Palestine, or actively talking about the fact that these people are literally suffering. I don't think they should be cancelled. I just think they should be called out. But I think a lot of people have been trying to call them out for the past few months, and they've not actually said anything. I've seen a lot of Reddit posts talking about how the sisters hardly address anything or talk about anything. Point is, the Caligera sisters barely address anything. Barely. And I mean this with all due respect. That's probably because they are PR trained and they don't feel the need to actively talk because they felt like their fans would always be behind them no matter what they do. And that was the case even in this scenario. But obviously, it wasn't as much as how people would support them in the past when they get into any other controversy, because these accusations were quite serious compared to what they've been accused of in the past.
I was so annoyed when I opened TikTok and seen that they were like Caligera sisters finally getting canceled. I'm like, stop. Those girls are so cute. Like, what are they doing? They have supportive parents all of their social media career. And like, come on, they live in Canada. Like, what effect does that have here? And then it just goes into like Republican versus Democrat. Like, I find it so hypocritical on both sides. Like, you're trying to cancel someone because they don't agree with you. And obviously on both sides, you have people doing like way too much. It's like, come on.
Another accusation is that they are homophobic. The reason for this is that in the video, Eliana and Demetra said homophobic slurs against the LGBTQ community. Now, this is allegedly, because personally I could not hear anything in the video, but according to a lot of people, they said they did say it. And another one they've been accused of for the longest time is hiding their cosmetic procedures, meaning they've gotten cosmetic surgery or cosmetic enhancement without telling their fans or letting their fans know, and claiming that it is all natural and they've not gotten anything done. Even people even accuse them of getting lip fillers and so on and so forth. Now, I am in no place to start analyzing if they have or going through all those pictures, because even though I still think that it is quite harmful and bad for you to get a cosmetic procedure done and then pass it off as natural, it definitely deceptive. Now, keep in mind that these allegations did not come from one long investigative piece. It was just from short videos, screenshots, Reddit posts, or people talking about it online, and this is all allegedly. Now let's get into chapter 3, and this chapter is going to be incredibly short because that's how the response was, how the sisters responded. One thing to keep in mind is that public responses matters, and that is why influencers and celebrities have PR teams for these situations. One of the sisters, Demetra Kalogeras, responded to the accusations through a TikTok comment. I had never seen this before, like responding to such big allegations just through a TikTok comment, not a story, a TikTok comment, and she just simply said, "We are not Trump supporters and we are not Zionists." Full stop. And there are two things to notice here. First, short clarifications from creators do not stop accusations from going wild, especially when they've already gained the momentum. The second thing to keep in mind is that she clarified through a TikTok comment, not even a video. So if another person is making, let's say, a 15 to 60-second video on TikTok will obviously favor that video, and then the accusations will go wild and it start gaining momentum, and people would start thinking that they actually do support these people or this cause. That is why I just think the whole comment thing was not really necessary. Maybe a story would have been somewhat better, or maybe even a short video clarifying the whole thing, but I think this is more of a structural problem than a PR problem, because no matter how they actually do respond, I think this would have still been blown to the extent that it cannot just be recovered no matter what they say. Another thing I forgot to add is the fact that Eliana made, let's just say, inappropriate gestures towards a minor that was doing a handstand, and majority of the people are making really bad excuses, which makes me just spiral. It makes me think about this on a deeper scale and say, will these people actually defend every single bad behavior that these people do, instead of like calling them out in the right way? Not them getting cancelled, but just like a few corrections. Let's just put it right here. Let's just say this. If people are riding behind you, supporting every single move that you do, you would not actually feel like you did anything bad, because you feel like a lot of people don't see a problem with it. I understand that she's a minor, but like telling a minor that she did something bad is actually very good. It helps them grow in the future so that she will not go ahead and do that as an adult and then probably get cancelled for it. Doing that gesture to a minor when she was just doing a handstand does not make any sense. It is bad, no matter if she was a minor or not. For example, some people are making the excuse that if the 12-year-old that she did that to did not have a problem, why do we have a problem? Do not go ahead cancelling these girls. I just think that it is absurd, the fact that they're making such crazy excuses for this particular scenario, knowing that what she did was in fact objectifying, even though what the minor was doing was not necessarily a bad thing, it was just a handstand. Now let's get into chapter 4, the reactions. Immediately the reactions were split. A lot of people were asking for receipts and then saying why everybody wants to cancel these girls, while a lot of people were charging head on and basically making more videos to cancel them and spreading allegations / rumors. And let's just say that people were very happy that they're being called out for something. I know people online hate or do not like the Caligera sisters. It is just basic knowledge. They don't like them at all. Like, it's a different thing for you to pass out criticism to people, but like straight up hating them and looking for every single way to just get them cancelled so that you can stop seeing them on your feed is another thing. Let's talk about how viral accusations spread, and we're going to be getting into virality mechanics. I believe there are factors that come into play when a rumor turns into a trending cancellation. For example, outrage. To some extent, outrage travels faster than nuance because people like to dwell on their emotional valence. Let's just put it like that. They rather be angry at something they just saw rather than thinking about why that thing even popped up on their feed, or if that thing is actually correct, if it has been confirmed that that thing is true. And when we live in a generation where people do not want to read an article with 1,500 words and they see a 15-second video pop up on their For You page talking about how the Kalogeras sisters are Zionists and they are homophobic, those people will just see that 15-second video and think it is true without actually going the extra mile to confirm if it is or not. And all of a sudden, it becomes a rumor. Did you see what the Kalogeras sisters did? Oh, this is what they did. When in fact it might just be an allegation or a rumor, not something confirmed. All I gotta say is, if you see something trending, pause and ask yourself, is this actually true? Has this been confirmed? Who was the first person to post about this? Another important thing to talk about is influencer PR. Why clarifications fail. Creators have two choices: either they ignore or they answer. And to me, I feel like both are risky. If you ignore, the rumor grows and people will feel like you do not even care in the first place. If you answer, your video gets clipped and reframed to whatever suits their narrative. Also, clarifications rarely land well because emotional and dramatic accusations would definitely do well than a careful denial. In the Caligera sister situation, Demetra's reply existed, but the reaction videos that were emphasizing the accusations would definitely outperform because they are posting videos, but she just left a comment, and that is not anybody's fault at all. That is not also because the truth is always secondary. That is just how the platform works. Let's move into the next chapter: ethics and responsibility. I honestly feel like there are ethical responsibilities on all sides. Creators should be transparent and proactive as much as possible. And also the audience. What are the responsibilities? I think the audience should avoid snap judgment and also be willing to change their mind when new information comes out that goes against their previous narrative. And most importantly, platforms should not reward partial accusations over full context, because just one video clip can literally ruin somebody's career regardless of if it has been confirmed to be true or not. And to touch more on the creator's part, I think we live in an era where people cannot be honest, especially when they support something that is, let's just say, a little too conservative. So there's no way they can be transparent because they'll get cancelled. There's no way they could say that, oh, they support, allegedly, they actually do support Israel. There's no way they could say that. There's no way they could be honest, because regardless of if they're honest or they're not honest, they still get cancelled. So what exactly is the way forward if regardless of what you do, you still get called out, you still get cancelled, you cannot be honest? I still feel like if the Kalogeras sisters post a video clarifying this whole situation, it will still be blown out of proportion and they will still get cancelled regardless. So what exactly is the way forward? I asked this question with all honesty, and if you know the answer to it, please let me know in the comment section below. So what is the biggest takeaway of this entire video? Virality doesn't always equate to truth. The video could go viral and it will just be full of false claims with no evidence. And if you think about it deeply, it could really ruin somebody's reputation or somebody's public image. If you don't know yet, I announced in the Clarida video that I'll be rebranding my content, and currently I'm just playing with a few things and doing videos that I genuinely like, videos that I find fun. Every time I want to sit down to film a video, I'm always so happy, so excited. Like I could film 2 videos in a week, while back then that was not possible. And I'm so happy creating this content right now. I'm thinking of turning this into a series, When the Internet Wants Your Downfall. And in this series, I'm going to be talking about how the internet probably doesn't like somebody and just wants them to fail or get cancelled. And if you'll be interested in this series, just feel free to subscribe, like, and leave a comment on what you think about this whole situation, because I'm re-evaluating my content and I'm posting quite frequently now, at least 1 video a week. I try my best to. And stick around if you want to be a part of this journey with me. Anyways, what do you think about this whole situation? Do you feel like it was blown out of proportion, or do you really feel like the internet truly wants these girls to go down and get cancelled beyond recovery? Because it's one thing to call somebody out and it's one thing to just want them not to succeed again. Now, I'm not trying to say that these screenshots are entirely fake. No. Should they be thrown into the gutters? No, they should be called out in the right way rather than getting cancelled for something that has not entirely been confirmed that they did. I feel like the ones that have been confirmed was when the 12-year-old was in a handstand and Eliana made a very objectifying sign towards them, or the ones where they said the homophobic slurs. But every other thing except from that is just honestly accusations. Anyways, that is all for this video. Feel free to suggest any video ideas down below, and if I feel like it's something fun to talk about, I would. That is all for this video, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Bye.